is Joe Zuckerman. Skiing is freeing unless you are a dopey human being. Skiing is freeing unless you're a dopey human being. Joe Zuckerman.
What? Good morning, Toastmasters, judges, and guests. Is it me, or is it hot in here? The speech I have for you this morning is a rerun, a retread, a repeat of a speech I made in Savannah, Georgia, several years ago in a contest similar to this one. The subject was the trials and tribulations of my first day on skis. I did not win the gold medal, nor the brass ring. I was given some fakakta honorable mention. Afterwards, I said, what went wrong? And it hit me like a thunderbolt. I had violated the cardinal rule of public speaking. And for those of you who are newer to public speaking, the cardinal rule is not, don't say or stammer or stutter. It is not, don't list back and forth like a metronome as you speak. The cardinal rule comes down to 3 simple words. Know thine audience. I made the grievous error of making a speech about snow sports to a group of Southern crackers who couldn't tell you the difference between a snowboard and a blackboard. After all, they're both hard and flat with writing all over them. These folks don't know the difference between a ski pole and a fishing pole. They're both hard, cylindrical items that will fend off a wild animal in a pinch. These folks don't know the difference between a parka and a parking spot, a gondola and a gargoyle, a powder day and a Powerball ticket. But you are my people. You, like me, understand the pull of gravity. You see what I did there, Fred? The pull. Speaking of which, there's no real gravity to this speech, no gravitas. It is a simple, bitter, somewhat sweet memoir of my reckless, feckless youth, or, as one of my favorite people in this room might put it, and fellow competitors, a mixture of insouciance and incompetence. The year was 1975. 40 years ago, I was a high school sophomore. I decided to learn how to ski. I lived in New England. There were ski bumps around. Vermont just a couple hours away. My parents, God rest their souls, they purchased me a $99 ski package. And for a quick walk down memory lane, those were K2 cheeseburger skis and K-Burr ski boots. I've had 10 pairs of boots. None as comfortable as those original K-Burrs. I didn't learn to ski in the conventional sense, not right away. I didn't take lessons nor learn from a sibling. Instead, I purchased a book. Of course, 40 years ago, there was no Dummies series. The book I purchased was actually called How to Ski. And when I tell you I studied that book with more fervor and more intensity than any of my high school textbooks, you'll take me at my word. In my book, I learned about the fall line, that line that runs from 12 to 6 o'clock on every ski hill. I learned about traversing, the way you can control your speed by going back and forth across the fall line. I learned that if you take your weight off the downhill ski as you traverse and put it on the uphill ski, the ski will turn and it will become the downhill ski. A miracle, I thought. And I learned about the hockey stop, when you throw those skis perpendicular to the fall line and come to an abrupt halt. In short, I thought I had learned everything I needed to learn about skiing. So I went off to the hill with a couple of my 14-year-old buddies. Someone's mom drove us. And as 14-year-old boys are wont to do, they immediately abandoned me to go up the hill, leaving me to my own devices. I went over to the bunny hill and rode the surface lift to the top. and I came down for my first run in a cautious snow plow. And I don't mean to brag, especially in a town when there might be an Olympian on the next bar stool. But it wasn't too many runs before I was in a wide track parallel. And I was going down and swooping and swerving and shussing and coming to a flourish of a hockey stop at the bottom. So I decided to go to the beginner's chairlift. But you see in my book, How to Ski, there was not a chapter titled How to Ride the Chairlift. This is where the problems really began. So I shuffled through the line, and as beginners have been doing since time immemorial, be they 3 or 83, I implored the lifty, slow it down, slow it down. And I got into position, and I stuck my behind out, and the chair picked me up. And can you imagine the exhilaration as I rode a chairlift for the first time by myself? That's really where the problems began. So I noticed the chair was on a pulley system, going up and coming down, and I certainly didn't want to risk the mortification of whipping around on the top and coming to the bottom. So I was at the ready. And near the top, there was a sign that said, "Prepare to exit." So I inched forward. And the next sign said, "Raise safety bar." So I did. And the next sign said, "Exit here." So I did. I jumped out of the chair about 5 feet before the platform and landed in the net. And I was lying like a fly in a spider web, looking up at the sky, arms and legs akimbo. And the bearded lifty whips open the kiosk and he goes, "What'd you do that for?" And I replied miserably, "It said exit here." And he said, no, you wait till you get up to the top, stand up, and the chair will push you down the ramp. To which I cleverly replied, "Oh." So he stopped the lift, and he extricated me from my predicament, and I was completely shot. I was humiliated, and that 8-degree bunny slope was much harder than the 4-degree J-bar, and I flailed and I failed my way to the bottom. But you know what, Toastmasters, guests, and judges? I stuck with it, and I got better, and I got better, and I became competent on skis. And then eventually I became competent on a snowboard. And even for a few years before my knees went out, competent on telemark skis. And here I am, 40 years later, living not 10 minutes from what will soon be the largest ski hill in the country. And you know what else? I have never, and I mean never, ever made that mistake again. Fool me once and all that jazz. Toastmaster.